The burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. The cities of Aroer are forsaken. They shall be for flocks, which shall lie down, and none shall make them afraid. The fortress also shall cease from Ephraim, and the kingdom from Damascus, and the remnant of Syria. They shall be as the glory of the children of Israel, saith the Lord of hosts.
Well, Syria's bloody civil war could turn into an even bigger problem for the United States and our allies. There's a new report that there's growing evidence Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad is trying to build nuclear weapons and that he may be getting help from North Korea and Iran. David Shanker is director for the program on Arab politics at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy. David, it's nice to see you again. I want to point out to our viewers that this is a report from a German newspaper that was referenced just recently in the Wall Street Journal in a column by Bret Stephens, who covers foreign affairs. And it certainly caught our attention because we hadn't seen that initial report out of this German newspaper. Tell us about it. What is the allegation about what's happening inside Syria today?
Well, this all dates back to 2007 when the Israelis attacked the Syrian nuclear facility in Al-Kibar. The IAEA found anthropomorphic uranium there, which is man-made, when they did an investigation of the site. Der Spiegel, the German magazine we're talking about right now, published a highly detailed article in 2009 that detailed what was at the facility, how the Israelis conducted the strike, and was highly credible. So now, when they came out with this article in January, I think everybody looked at it and said, wow, this is pretty interesting that the Syrians have moved their uranium to Kalamun, to outside of Damascus. Hezbollah is protecting some of it. This is a big deal. But because the Assad regime is slaughtering so many other Syrians, it's really not gotten a whole lot of press.
What is your belief about whether or not the report is accurate? How likely could this be true?
Listen, Der Spiegel was credible the first time around. I find it a little difficult to believe that the Syrian government has either the resources, the time, the bandwidth to handle this right now. They're in the middle of a 4-year civil war. They've killed over 200,000 of their own citizens. Nevertheless, I think the Assad regime understands that a nuclear weapon, unlike a chemical weapon, could somehow preserve or make more enduring this regime. Saddam Hussein didn't have one, and Gaddafi didn't have one, and that's why they're not there anymore. On the other hand, North Korea and very soon possibly Iran will have one, and they're here to stay.
And bad actors certainly are very resourceful, as we found, just as a generalization, David, especially in the region. And it would be interesting, wouldn't it, if the entire time the United States is focused on a nuclear negotiation with Iran, Iran is actually continuing to support Syria in their efforts to get a nuclear weapon, because there are those that allege that Al-Assad, the president of Syria, is simply a puppet of the Iranian government. The report alleges that this is underground, it's near the border with Lebanon, protected by Hezbollah, the terrorist group supported by Iran. And I'm just wondering how this plays in, David, to these negotiations we're actually having with Iran right now. We could be negotiating with them about their nuclear program and not even paying attention to what's happening next door.
Well, we've seen this before. The Iranians are committed. They're all into the Assad regime. It wouldn't surprise me if they were doing this kind of project. And in fact, we've read recently that the Iranians have another secret facility on Iranian soil, some information that was provided by a terrorist group, an Iranian terrorist group, about a facility in Iran that we are not particularly investigating either. Iran is a bad regional actor. It's not going to become any better if we sign a nuclear agreement with them, and we can count on them doing this kind of subversive, undermining, regionally destabilizing behavior in perpetuity, regrettably.
Wow. It certainly gives us a lot to think about. Again, the report came out in January. We'll see if it gets any more press and any more attention. It certainly deserves it, especially now. David, it's great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, generally.
Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.